afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Thursday, December 5, 2024, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a reverse aging health call and all the rest Friday, tomorrow night, after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. This universe that we all exist with knows what it is doing. It is divinely intelligent and vastly creative. Now, let's say that the future was 100% perfect exactly as it showed up, and there was nothing you could do about it. You could see the bigger picture of the next 100 years of your life and know that there was absolutely nothing you needed to change for it to learn what your soul came here to do, to learn. How would it feel in the event you could surrender to trusting the future all the time? Obviously, it is up to you to let go and experience trust for yourself. And this divine cosmic play called life. When you let go and trust what is and what will be, magical things begin to happen. This universe will start answering your every request because you are in alignment with what is, instead of trying to change, control, or conquer what is destined to be. Now, we all know that the mind is too small of a container to comprehend how everything is predestined, and yet we have the free will to change our imminent future. The future is not set in stone. It is written in the sand, which ironically is what allows the mind to experience the energy of, let's say, worry in the first place. If everything was set in stone, there would be no way we could grow and have the grand experience of shifting from love to fear. It just all depends when you are ready to step permanently out of worry, stress, fear, anxiety mode in your life. Take an honest, deep look inside yourself and see what your personal worry issues are usually around. And worry is like worry, stress, fear, anxiety, all of it. So we get curious about the subtleties of this attachment, and we simply notice how it feels to be attached. I think we all know how it feels to be attached. Attached to a being, attached to an outcome, a situation, or a thing. The next step is replacing all of that crud with wonder and being curious about what these hurting parts inside of us, what they truly need. Now, after you find out what they are missing, love, trust, appreciation, gentleness, etc., then let them feel what they need. Feel a sense of wonder inside about everything inside you. Constantly refocus your mind on being curious about what it discovers is wonder. Implement this simple switch the instant you begin the worry, stress, fear, anxiety, and your life will become absolutely wonderful. We get in our own way a lot, but we don't know it. It's not like, oh, I'm getting in my own way. We don't know it, so we do it all the time. Well, how do you do that? Well, when you, in meditation, when you relax into the body, you get in a comfortable position, you relax into the body, you are as still as a statue and you focus on your breath rising and falling. And then you request something from the heart mind to the universe, whatever it may be. That's good. But then when you come out of meditation, all right, the ego mind's there, okay? Remember, in meditation, you're in the now. Ego mind doesn't exist in the now. There's no pain and suffering in the now. But when you leave meditation, you're susceptible to falling back into yesterday and tomorrow. And see, when that happens, then you begin to doubt what it was that you had asked the universe for. You begin to doubt it. It doesn't have to be a huge doubt. Be a little teeny one. Yeah, just a little freckle. But it's enough. And then it tells the universe, you don't want it. You don't care to have it. And it doesn't come. But yet, not knowing that, many of us get very frustrated, upset, irritated, angry. Again, we suffer. It's so crucial to be deeply aware of this, as many are not yet. And you'd be amazed at how things would miraculously shift. Things would appear that you had asked for. And the only place you can do that is you can be in a meditative state, walking around, believe it or not, walking around talking with people. You can be in a meditative state. You can be in a meditative state when you're fixing something to eat for yourself or taking a shower. There's just so many different meditative states you can be in. But a lot of people just think, well, you're supposed to just, sit, be quiet, and listen. They don't realize that we can maintain a meditative state all the time. And what does that do? For us, it negates the ego mind. More and more and more. You don't have a bone to pick with the ego mind. None of us do. It's actually a very positive interaction that we experience with the ego mind when we enter these bodies. And we learn from it. Then we learn how to master it. But it's always being aware. The more deep awareness that we have, the more we know. You say to yourself, I sent this out to the universe. This is something that I want. And that's it. I have 100% faith, trust, and confidence in myself and the universe that will manifest. And that's it. You just leave it alone. You don't go back to it. Okay? You don't obsess over it. Some people will do that. They'll go back and they'll obsess over something. Really, that they'll just constantly visit it. And then they become so attached to it that when it doesn't happen, it's very unpleasant for them that it didn't happen. And then, of course, they're confused on why it didn't happen. See, in all of us, and I emphasize this as much as I can, it is in all areas of our existence in these bodies. It's not something that you can turn off. As we have always been and will always be omnipotently powerful, amazing manifestors who have the power to instantly and effortlessly materialize any desired outcome into the physical world. Any desired outcome. into the physical world. Now, the key words here are always infinite, instantly, and effortlessly. It doesn't take effort for us to manifest anything. And a lot of us have been taught that it does. When any efforting or new training were required to become a natural manifester, then it wouldn't be supernatural and would just be another experience in this life that would come and go. And the truth is that as long as we have a body and a mind, we have the power to manifest anything into this physical world. Now, see, and here's where the danger is. Because we aren't aware, a lot of us aren't aware, that you can manifest not good things. See? It's both ways. You can end up manifesting things that you go, you got to be kidding me, or that just sideswipe you. And that's because we're not aware of it. And we don't know the ramifications of how powerful manifestors we are. And since we don't know, how are we going to be responsible for that power? How are we? See, this is why this is why we observe so many of us who are in pain, sorrow, and anguish, frustration, questioning themselves, arguing with themselves and others on why. Why is this happening? Why is that happening? Why is that, they ask why their lives are this way, this way, this way, this way. And it all centers and focuses on how well they know themselves and how well they know who and what they are, and what the purpose is that they're in that physical body, that they know that they're not that physical body. But they also know that we as gods of pure consciousness come in these bodies. We inherit all of it. We inherit all the emotionality, everything. Every one of us on this planet has the power to manifest anything they want whenever they want it. That's a fact. That's absolute fact. Problem is, when we have been so deep-seatedly programmed for so very long, it's pretty tough. It's a tough cookie to crack, to get through that and out the other side. Because, the ego mind says, well, that's just a bunch of hooey. You're not going to, it doesn't work. When does it work for you? And so we leave it alone. Even when we don't know it, but we manifest something, it shows up almost instantly. It's like you were thinking about it, and then 15, 20 minutes later, there it is. And you go, wow, I was just thinking about that. But then we pass it by. Say we don't focus and comprehend what that means. We just think it's a coincidence, right? And as we know, coincidence doesn't, as far as I'm concerned, coincidence doesn't. We invented that word to describe things a way that we don't understand. We've invented a lot of words on this planet. You can invent a word right now for yourself. Use it, and if it's catchy, eventually many will use it. See, none of us, there is no need for another moment of suffering to occur for us to realize this deeper truth inside. Who we really are is absolutely beyond the physical world, which is what enables us to manifest anything in it. We come from the unmanifest, that is pure, unlimited, divine potentiality. We are naturally a soul permanently and forever. And yes, for eternity, this spiritual essence is the core truth of who and what we will always be. There is nothing we can do to change this, nor anything we can do to turn off the natural manifesting powers that come with this body and mind we are inhabiting. This is where we're going. We'll say it this way. Though there are those of us who will choose to go this direction. Will it be the majority? No, it will not. Why is that? We can see by observing how many of us are still unaware. Now, experiencing oneself as a natural manifesting being in our everyday world can be easier and more enjoyable than we think. In fact, each moment is another direct doorway to exploring the divine understanding within ourselves and all around us. What could be more enjoyable than that? And this inner and outer exploration of the divine is what makes our entire journey on this earth worthwhile and will provide more evolutionary progress for our souls than anything else we could or should be doing. The discovery to manifesting what we really want in this life comes from shifting into this higher spiritual frequency of thinking and consciousness. When we are vibrating with joy, enthusiasm, love, and trust, we will automatically attract things and situations and people that resonate at this higher frequency. High vibrations attract even higher vibrations, and so on. Wherever your attention goes, we know this, is where energy flows. We do not always need to be aware of this process for it to work, because it works whether we're aware of it or not. Simply put, whatever any of us are thinking about is what is being manifested. We are always manifesting something, whether it is a compulsive worrying habit, an intimate relationship, our next meal, or world peace. Whatever we think about will grow and become our experience more frequently down the road. Now, the big question is, are we clear about what we want to manifest and what we do not want to manifest? These bodies are all birthed with this innate ability to materialize thoughts into physical form, and can improve upon this gift by learning how to harness the power of the mind. And all that is needed is total surrender to the idea, feeling, and experience of what you want to manifest as if it is already here now. Instantaneous manifestation occurs when we can hold this sensation and continuously release the emotional negativity and resistance to having it be real. When there is zero resistance, total openness to the infinite possible ways it can happen, and a deep knowingness that your desired outcome has already manifested on some level for you in the here and now, then it has to manifest for you instantly. Now, to many, this may seem impossible, ridiculous, or miraculous. Yet it is as natural as the warmth from the sunshine above. So you just surrender to it all. Sit back and enjoy the ride. And many of us, we feel that we've got to be constantly engaged, and we can't just sit back and enjoy the ride, because a lot of us are afraid we're going to miss something. And that's all ego mind. That insecurity kicks in. Oh, I got to get out there and do something. I can't just sit here. Our power, you figure this out, our power is not physical. Our power is spiritual. Remember that. See, we've identified our power as physical, and it is actually spiritual. We use these bodies to materialize things that we want. You focus on something. You focus on, this constant rhetoric that's this absolutely crazy, lunatic process that you're watching in front of you. And you focus on the opposite. Peaceful planet. Peaceful world. Where pure evil has been dismissed. Happy, joyous, blissful. For all life that's connected with this planet. Interacting, deeply and eternally loving ourselves and everything else around us. Knowing that the love that we have for ourselves is way beyond romantic love. And that's one thing that many beings on this planet believe, that's love. The romantic love is love. It is a very teeny part of deep eternal love. And I've said this many times and to experience that love, we do not need to have someone in bed with us at all. And people feeling like they're alone is only because they're artificially detached from the gods that they are. And the universe. How could anybody be alone when you have you have yourself, number one, the God that you are within the body. Then you have the universe, which is always there. It never leaves. It's always there. It always has been and always will be. You hear me say it often. It is your best friend. It is. You would not be able to have a better friend in the universe, because it doesn't lie, it doesn't cheat, it isn't deceptive, it isn't dishonest, it is straight up, and a lot of the times it knows better than you do. And it guides you. And when you can establish that warm, deep, eternal love with the universe, you got it. See? And when you can constantly focus yourself on the now, you're at peace. There's no other way to be at peace than in the now. The ego mind is a master at controlling yesterday and tomorrow, keeping us in yesterday and tomorrow. Anything yesterday is dead. It is gone. It is completely inert. And tomorrow hasn't happened. You can see how people get so caught up with the ego mind as their master and how things operate. You know? And see, this is our discovery for each of ourselves. It's not sitting there worrying about World War III or chaos and destruction and all of that. When you put two and two together and you finally comprehend the fact that you are the almighty, all-powerful, omnipotently supreme being, master manifester creator that never dies, that is experiencing material physical life and uses the body, uses the mind, uses the ego through the heart mind to manifest what you desire. You manifest things so you can experience them. That's why we manifest things. Relationships, manifest food, clothing, housing, whatever it may be. Doesn't it make sense that we would have that power? And none of us are exempt from that power. We all have it. But look at how we have been so manhandled throughout the ages on how we believe, which is super powerful because what you believe, you create. The only power that pure evil has ever had over any of us is to get us to focus on what we don't want. That's it right there. That's the power. That's the way they do it. That's the way they have always done it, not just this planet, but dozens of other planets. They get us to focus on what we do not want. This is super powerful, because each one of us is more powerful than 1,000 suns. And I know that don't even bother with the mind comprehending that, because it cannot. It just is. We've been taught that something powerful has to be huge. And it's actually the opposite is the truth. And we discover this secret that we all have, right? It's a secret we all have. Some of us discover it, others take more time to do so. You see, this is why being in the heart mind is so powerful, because your perspective on manifesting is completely different than from the ego mind. Ego mind is attachment, expectations of anything that you want or desire, anything, see, which 9 times out of 10 negates it. Which then means what? You suffer. You're disappointed, frustrated, angry, irritable, because it didn't manifest. And it's so ironic, isn't it, that the reason that happens is because we don't know who and what we are. That's why it all happens. It's like you sit and you watch and you say, look at, and you're not judging. You're watching everything. You're just observing, right? Picture yourself in the most comfortable position you could be in with your body. And you're kicked back, and all you're doing is just observing. You're just watching. You're watching the planet. You're watching the people, the beings. You're watching life. And you realize that directing this power that we all are into one focused point Of what? What is it? It's gone on for generations. It's gone on for millennia. What is it? Destruction, death, obliteration, pain. Isn't it? Whenever we turn our attention, I'll give you an example. What brought us as a people into World War II conflict, right, was the fact that a bunch of us through the ego mind got really upset because our country was attacked, bombed, by another country, Japan, and Hawaii. And the day after that occurred, millions of Americans, men and women, lined up to be drafted into the military services, and we became involved in that war. Where was their focus? Their focus, collectively, was on revenge, anger, destruction, elimination, and it was manifested. Any example that anyone would put front and center can easily be explained on why it occurred. And the arrow points to us. We created it through the power of the gods that we are in these bodies. We manifested these conflicts because we focused on them. Okay? And in that focus is ego mind, and worry, stress, fear, insecurity, anxiety, right? And then the dark forces start throwing in other things like, we've got to quell them, or they'll blow up the planet, they'll kill everybody. We've got to stop it. Fear is instigated. And then this just comes over the people, and the people focus on this, and they create it. Now, what's the opposite? Opposite is that we observe and we view and we watch through heart-mindedness, and we don't give it any power. None. I guarantee you, you could sit back and watch what would happen for those of us aware enough, focusing on the opposite of what they want everybody to focus on, which is death and destruction. It's like, we all, none of us are exempt on focusing on what we don't want, because we do it so much, and we've done it for so long, for so many lifetimes. It's pretty much regular for us. And then when we start becoming aware, it says, geez, oh Pete, I'm not going to focus on what I don't want. People say they don't want war. They don't want conflict. They don't want people having to leave the body. They don't want destruction. And this is what they focus on. And then fear is there as well. But look at all that power. Look at all that energy being focused on something so despicable. It's not intentional. It's not like, oh, we're going to focus on this. Wherever our attention goes, energy flows. It is a universal comprehension. And all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. So in the quiet time of this meditation, it's like you have a switch. You can flick it anytime you want. Or a button, however you want to put it. And you could say to yourself, I no longer care to focus my power on things I don't want. I no longer care to focus my power on war, conflict, and I'm not saying having it, but focusing on it out of fear that it would happen. which means that you create it and it does happen. This is a collective consciousness. We are a civilization, a species in the outer rim of the Milky Way galaxy in this solar system. And we have been trained to focus on things that we do not want to have happen. And in doing so, we create it. Oh, at 100% of the time, we create it. World War I, World War II, all of it. And see, because of the insecurity, we don't believe we have the power to switch the direction. We don't. We do not believe that. This is why we feel uneasy and insecure. It's saying, well, you focus on what you want. And your attention is on that. And it is manifested. It is created. Any of this stuff. But see, our confidence and faith and trust in ourselves and this universe isn't that strong. It isn't that strong. Is that a surprise? Not really, because of how we have been, for millennia, trained and programmed on how to believe. It's like you're told constantly, you say, hey, you're in this square container. There's nothing outside the square container. And if you try to go outside the square container, you will no longer be. Now, if you say that long enough, for millennia, what do you think is going to happen? It's like, take a bunch of fleas, put them in a jar. Put the top on the top of the jar. Okay? Those fleas will hop up and down, hit the lid of the jar. They'll hit that lid. Over and over again, they'll keep hitting that lid. You sit there and watch them. See, it's a fun little experiment. And after a period of time, you'll notice that the fleas are no longer hitting the lid. They're only jumping so high. All of them. There isn't one that's out of context. Now, when you take that lid off, well, okay, so they're all going to jump. No, they'll all jump only so high. It's the same conditioning that this civilization, this species, the planet Earth, has been trained in. If you step outside of this box, you will no longer be. No different than the fleas, who will not jump out of that jar. Now, when you can contain that for a very long period of time, all you got to do is point that power, which is immeasurable, in one direction and create whatever it is you want to create. Without that power knowing that it is being used to create that. And what is the insecurity? The insecurity is that we believe that, oh, that's too risky. We've got to fight. We've got to go out there, shed blood, fight. When all we had to do was focus our energies, focus our attention through the heart-mind, direct the ego-mind, and it would not occur. When you have a sick friend, you're worried about the sick friend, right? You focus on that sick friend. You focus on how they're feeling, and you really feel bad that they feel bad. And that's where most of our focuses are. Now, switch that, view them as being happy, healthy, vibrant, and strong. That's how you view them, no matter what. Through your heart-mind. You want to give them energy? You want to help them heal? That's how you do it. But most of us have been trained to be in somber modes, depressed modes, worried, stressed, and fearful of a sick loved one. We view them as being sick. We walk into the room, oh God, they look horrible. I experienced a lot of people in my family pass. And I didn't view it as depressing at all. Which a lot of people thought was really strange. You know, and I'm sitting there crying and upset and everything. Why? You're in deep gratitude that you had the opportunity to interface with them for as long as you had the opportunity to interface with them. That's why then you say, everything is temporary. Can't argue that. It's the truth. Listen to your heart in the quiet time of this meditation. Focus on the breath rising and falling, relaxed into your body, being as still as can be, still as a statue. And begin to know, deeply and eternally, you are the power. You always have been. Yes, there has been sleight of hand, there has been manipulation, there has been misguidance, but now you become aware of all of that. And now you know that you can direct it however you want. And you know that there's no way that you're going to direct your power to create harm. You won't do it. You do the opposite. But you aren't going to be angry about it. You just say, I don't care to do that. I'm not going to put my power over there. My power is a blissful planet for everyone. For all life. Life is the highest supreme value in the universes. The harmony is created by the gods that we are and who we truly are in these bodies. The happiness, the joy, the bliss, the respect, the adoration comes from within all of us. I'll join you in meditation. I'll return close now. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into your body. Focus on your breath rising and falling. Look into your future. What do you want the final outcome of your life's work to be? Look into your future right now and imagine exactly what you most want to manifest. Do not settle for just anything. Imagine something that makes your heart explode with joy. Take these next 24 hours to visualize exactly what you want. It's important to know that this magical universe is now organizing this new future for you right now. Feels like you've just arrived. It's always the perfect time to start enjoying this amazing future. You. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night, following morning. We'll return here Friday, December 6, 2024. A little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call. And a little after 9:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our reverse aging health call and all the rest. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's happening within you or outside of you. Open your heart. Allow the magic to flow in.